I really believe that the most important financial decision we make in our lives is who we marry. Or you could say, you know, who you tie yourself financially to, because it obviously can extend without marriage. And even, you know, you could look at like a business partnership that way too. I think that is very, very common. My mother is a couples therapist, and she tells me that it's because we are biologically drawn to our opposites, because as a species, you know, we need to be well balanced. And so financially, you will always kind of be with someone who is potentially not on the same page as you. And that was very much true for me and my husband. We got married when I was 25, so I was a year from FI. And he always tells the story of our first date where I sort of like laid it down for him. And he's like, so yeah, there's no cable. We can't pay for cable. We don't believe in paying for cable. And he was like, I just thought, you know, how can I be with someone? How am I gonna watch football if we can't pay for cable? And so that was kind of what he took from it. I was like, oh, she's like part of some cult where nobody is allowed to watch cable. And we've evolved a little bit past that point. Yeah, my husband came from a family that was felt very entitled to nice things. My husband felt very entitled to nice things. When I met him, you know, he had nice clothes, drove a nice car, he had a nice watch. He spent a lot of money he didn't have. And I thought, you know, that it was doomed. And I really spent some time thinking, you know, if it's money or this man, what do I pick? And I would pick money. That was not a question for me. But what our saving grace was, which I'm now so thankful for, is I think we actually just sat down and started talking about what mattered to us. And it was the first time that I really came face to face with the fact that my frugality was given to me. It wasn't a moral high ground. And that was, I think, my humbling moment, that I don't get to look at people and tell them how they should manage their money. And I don't get to say that I'm better at money than other people. We really sort of got to the bottom of both of our childhood experiences and both of the ways that money was very meaningful and powerful in our childhoods. And to our parents, it was, for both of us, source of enormous contention in our parents' marriages. And when my husband's father died, my husband stepped in as the financial, you know, caretaker for his entire family, and his father left them with a lot of debt. There's a lot of pain around money there. And where we landed was that we both wanted our kids never to have to worry about money. And we both just never wanted to pass on what we'd had, which was a childhood spent worrying and trying to sort of cost as little as possible so there was money for other things. And I think when we got to that value, everything else fell into place. That was the turning point, that we both so much share that vision and that goal. And he wasn't sold on, you know, traveling all the time. I couldn't sell him on any of those normal early retirement, you know, we'll travel the world, you can do anything you want, you can quit your job when you want. He loves his job. He doesn't want to travel, but he doesn't want his kids to worry about money. Honestly, I would say my husband's the true success story. You know, I was born like this, but my husband certainly was not in any way born like this. And he has completely changed his spending. We save like 70% of what we earn. We live in a tiny 600 square foot studio. We always laugh that we can't afford our own rentals. You know, our tenants live nicer than we do. And it's true. We both drive old cars. He's just completely shifted. And now he'll say to me, like, honey, you don't need that. Honey, don't spend the money on that. Like, now he's become the frugal one because he sees the vision. And so that's what I always tell couples, is sit down and see if you can find some shared vision or some shared goal.